In the next section, we will be introducing you to the WinCC flexible functions in detail. There will also be a discussion about efficient engineering, smart access, smart service, totally integrated automation, and ready for validation. WinCC Flexible is the HMI software for the next-generation automation concepts at the machine level, with all functionalities for simple and efficient engineering. With its ergonomic, user-specific operator interface, WinCC Flexible ensures that you always have an overview of everything you need. Your work environment consists of multiple elements, some of which are linked to specific editors and are visible only when the relevant editor is active. You will find a list of windows below. The Workspace window is the window in which you edit the objects in the project. All elements of WinCC Flexible are grouped around the Workspace window. With the exception of the Workspace window, you can arrange and configure the elements to suit your personal needs, for example, move or hide them. All components and available editors of a project are displayed in a tree structure in the Project window and can be opened there. As sub-elements of each editor, you will see files in which you can store objects in structured form. In addition, displays, recipes, scripts, protocols, and user dictionaries are directly linked to the configured objects. In the Object window, you will have access to the device settings for the panel, language support, and version management. The Properties window is where you edit an object's properties, for example, the color of display objects. In the Tool window, you will find a section of objects which you can insert in your displays. For example, graphic objects and control elements. You can also access libraries with fully tested library objects and collections of displayed driver blocks in the Tool window. The Object window is where the elements you selected in the Project window are displayed. The user interface language is used for menu entries, title bars, help texts, texts in dialog windows, and other designations on the WinCC Flexible User Interface. You can select the following user interface languages during the installation of WinCC Flexible. In the Western version, German, English, Spanish, Italian, and French. In the Asian version, Chinese, Taiwan, Chinese, People's Republic of China, Japanese, and Korean. During configuring, you can change the configuration interface. For example, when multiple configuration engineers of different nationalities are working with WinCC Flexible. WinCC Flexible supports you in the creation of multilingual configurations. Projects can be created with up to 32 languages for worldwide use, as many as 16 of which, depending on the target system, can be downloaded, making it possible to switch back and forth between them online. Selectable views during configuration allow multilingual input of configuration data. Language-dependent texts are managed in the text library. Language-dependent graphics in the graphics library. You can import and export texts, for instance, in order to have them externally translated by a service provider using standard tools. In WinCC Flexible, you are supported in the translation of projects by a variety of dictionaries. The system dictionary is supplied together with WinCC Felxible and contains common terms from the world of process automation and their translations. The system dictionary is read only and can be modified in any way. You can store the translations of terms used repeatedly in your project texts in user dictionaries. You can insert terms from project texts directly from editors into a user dictionary or edit a user dictionary in an editor of the same name. In your system, you can create multiple user dictionaries which are then available to all projects. When the Automatically Translate function is activated in the project texts editor, all dictionaries are searched for the terms to be translated, and terms that are found are entered as suggested translations in the project texts editor. You can then either accept or change these suggested translations. Mass data editing supports the simultaneous creation and editing of multiple objects. Configuring is much more efficient, saving both time and costs. While conventional configuration software requires a variety of time-consuming steps, you can do the work required in a very short time with WinCC Felxible. The procedure is very familiar to users of MS Office. You select the line or element you want and create the new objects using drag and drop. Example: generating an I/O field automatically by dragging and dropping a variable in the display, or simply selecting a display by dragging the object into the display image. Two additional examples would be multiple modifications. You can change identical settings for several variables at one time, for example, variable type or controller. Automatic address allocation. When you create multiple variables with process interface which are stored contiguously in the controller's memory, you can have the address space automatically incremented for each variable.